Hello, welcome back to Blame the Dice Wargaming. My name's Tim, and tonight I've got another unboxing video for you. I've had two new arrivals of Star Wars Legion. I've had the ARC Troopers and I've had the BX Commandos for the Republic and for the Separatists. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by doing the ARC Troopers. These will be video 1, and then tomorrow night we'll do the BX. So this is part 1 and part 2 video. So let's get into it. We're going to start off by doing the ARC Troopers, and then we can do the BX Battle Droids next video. And here it is, the ARC Trooper expansion for the Republic Alliance, so the Galactic Republic, let's get that right. Right, so let's get this out of the box and see what it looks like. Now, I did order 2 of these, but I've only received 1. There has been some issues with people getting hold of them, so I've been one of the lucky few to get hold of it. So we've got our new format instructions, so we can go through those as we need to. We've got 7 bases, which is a number I want you to note for later on. We've got 2 sprues, we'll go through those in a moment. And then of course, your standard cards and whatnot, as well as some flying bases. And it looks like something's popped out, but we'll discover what that is in a second. So, let's have a look at the cards in more detail. Once again, FFG are really stepping up the game with the miniature making. Whilst they might be infuriating us with their ability to meet their production and distribution schedules through one thing and another, their model making is getting supremely better, and you'll see so many various options in terms of the arms, their position. Some of them are more socketed than others. The kind of helmet, whether or not it's something subtle like in this one, where you've got the phase 1 with the fin and the phase 1 without the fin. Get lots and lots of options. There's backpacks, there's jetpacks, there's all sorts. So we'll have a quick whiz through this, because admittedly I don't think you'll be particularly interested in this, but I wanted you to have a chance to see all the various components and the level of detail that you get in the instructions, because there are 7 minis here, so you will be assembling every single one of them. I don't think there's going to be anything that isn't going to be left undone. But you have got various options in terms of who's on the flight post, the guns that they've got. And let's have a look what else we have. Yeah, as well as whether or not they're going to be seated, standard, or what have you. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary comes with the cards. Nothing kind of jumps out as there's a new token or there's something I wouldn't expect to come with it. However, we do have 2 command tokens, which we'll cover in a second. So this is the first sprue. I will try to give you an idea of some of the improvements on these, because we've all seen them before. The first thing I want to point out is look at the cloak on the back of the ARC Troop. Now, if you remember when you painted Rex, that was essentially a smooth, flat bit of fabric. And if you look at that, you've got some truly magnificent detail in there. As I move it through the light, you can see all these little small folds, not just the big ones on the left, but on the right you can see the small kind of subtle creases as it's flapping in the wind, which is great because it really tells us the amount of effort that FFG are putting into this. They wouldn't be doing that if they didn't care about this product. The heads are starting to get a little bit more, I think, true to form, should I say. I think some of them have looked a little bit, I don't know, indistinct, but even though those are 3 heads of the essentially clones, they do seem to have unique characteristics. I can see different characteristics in their faces and in the models. And of course, we have all the masks. Let me try to get, there we go, in focus now. Just a nice level of detail. This is right the way down from the helmet to the guns. I can show you these ones. Come on, camera, focus. Okay, it doesn't want to focus, but when I show you what I'm looking at there, it has much more minute detail in the grip, the barrel, the different sections of the gun, where I think early on when we had like the DLTs, they looked something a little bit, I don't know, looked like a pipe cleaner with a barrel at the end of it. And then your pistols, they haven't changed much, admittedly. So let's have a look at your next sprue. Oh yeah, there we go. There's a jetpack, looking very much like what Sabine's got, Boba Fett's got rather. But again, on the detail, much nicer level of detail there. I think they've really improved the way they're doing this. Very similar to what we were looking at before, but one thing I wanted to point out to you is you'll notice on the front of the chest piece here how it's got these kind of tassels. That's the front tassels of the I'm not sure what to call it really. Let's call it the skirt for the better description. So it means that it's going to have that real extra nice level of detail, and it should make painting it a little bit easier, because I'm not particularly the most steady-handed of people, so to be able to have them separate and have them painted together, separate before stuck them together, is going to really help. So first things first, we need to address the elephant in the room. We do have two unique cards with this. We've got one, which is a strike team, very similar to what we got with the Rebels and the Empire when they've released their scouts, and the second being a full squad. So this is what you get. For 72 points, you get a unit of 4 minis, and these are special forces per the token there. They're still clone troopers, so that's good for all your clone token sharing shenanigans down the line. And in terms of their values, they've got a single health per mini, 2 courage per mini, which is always nice, and they roll red defense dice. And what is becoming very standard for the Republic is they do not surge either way. Got a movement of 2, a couple of weapon options. So we've got a range 1 to 3 single black dice. We've got a range 1 to 2 black and a white, which I quite like the idea of having that extra in there. We've got close combat training, which is also black and a white. And then we've got a bit of a flurry of different options for upgrades. So you've got a grenade, 2 gears, comms, training, and a heavy weapon. So, looking at the keywords, we've got impervious on this. So, when defending, if the attacker has the Pierce X keyword, roll X additional dice value equal to its Pierce value. So that's fantastic. One of the issues you get with troopers that are this expensive, such as your Death Troopers, is when they get shot up by snipers, they fall easy, and it's a real feel bad. So having impervious is really good, because actually, in some regards, they're that much better against your sniper units than they would be against somebody without the Pierce keyword. Now, they also have Scout 2. I'm sure we all know this by now, but essentially when they deploy, you may do a Speed 2 maneuver, so you can get these guys into some great cover or a good flanking position pretty early on, because the Speed 2 maneuver will really get you there. Sharpshooter 1, so when performing a ranged attack, reduce the defender's cover by 1. So essentially, pretty much whatever you're shooting at is going to be in light cover or no cover, which is really good, because it's going to make those black dice or the black and white count. And lastly, this is something we'll really enjoy having, I think, is Tactical 1. After you perform a standard move, gain an aim token, which is fantastic. And just a very quick look at the strike team. The difference here is it's 21 points and it's a single mini. The main difference is, just like previous strike teams, you have to take the heavy weapon upgrade, and that card, the heavy weapon upgrade, will be your unit leader. Everything else is absolutely the same. So we've got some really tasty upgrade cards that come with this. Now I'm going to start with the ones you've seen before, because I want to skip through these. Situational Awareness, it's a training upgrade, 2 points only, so it's really good. And it's 4 points if you're equipping it to a support unit, which this isn't. But essentially, you can outmaneuver, you can spend dodge tokens to block crits, which is excellent for 2 points, excellent value. This comes with 2 different gear options, which is great because that's exactly what they have. The first one, Ascension Cables, is 4 points. Another really good upgrade, gains a free action to allow you to perform a scale. So that is either at the start or the end of an activation. You can go up or down something for free, in essence, and it is treated as if not only do you have Expert Climber, but you also have environmental gear. That's the kind of effect of it. A very good one, and great for maybe a unit you're trying to get into a very key position, or you want to enable to get across difficult terrain without being slowed down any. Now it's time for the stuff we care about. This comes with 2 copies of the JT12 Jetpack. This is going to be fantastic, and it's only 10 points. So for 10 points, you gain Jump 2. So you have now got the ability to clear things of the height of 2. Now, that might be overkill, but I think for 10 points it's absolutely fantastic. You're going to be able to bob and appear almost anywhere on the other side of the table. Nothing's going to be safe from you. And continue doing a range 2 maneuver. That is going to really give you some versatility, even in either getting to objectives that otherwise can't be got to, or appearing behind an enemy's flank where they're no longer in heavy cover. The key thing to note about this, in addition to it adding the Jump 2 keyword, is this can only be given to the ARC troopers themselves, but also to Captain Rex. So not only is Rex one of the singularly best commanders in the game, he can now have Jump 2 for only 5 points. Really fantastic. And now for the first grenade that is new since Frag Grenades. We have the EMP Droid Popper. This is quite a different one to what we've seen before, and it's the first one that adds Iron 1. So essentially, it is only 3 points, so it's cheaper than the others. It's a range 1, as you'd expect, and it's a single black dice. And when one or more of this weapon in your attack pool hits, you gain Iron 1, and a vehicle or droid wounded by this will gain 1 Iron token. Now, the reason why I'm labouring over that point is it is different to the ones. If you attack with concussion grenades or whatever, you would normally have pooled that blast keyword or whatever it was, or impact keyword. In this case, it doesn't matter. So if you decided I'm going to throw 4 of these, 5 of these at a squad of droids, they won't get Iron 5. This is just Iron 1 for the attack. So realistically, it's incentivizing that everyone else is going to shoot with, let's just say, their range 1 to 2 hand blaster. One person will chuck in the single 1 black dice, and your heavy weapon will still be able to do whatever he's doing or what have you. And whatever unit you're attacking will get that 1 Iron token, which is great. And now for our heavy weapon. This is the DC-15X for the ARC Trooper. This is range 1 to 5, so it's got something on the DLT straight away because it's got that extra range band, so it's up there with the snipers. It's got critical 1, which is fantastic. It's also immune to deflect, and it's got lethal 1. So let's just remind ourselves that we have tactical 1 on our cards, so if you did move, you have got that aim token regardless, or you could have aimed anyway. So it's going to be easy to have that aim token to spend, and if you do choose to spend that, you gain Pierce 1. And for 31 points, it is very pricey, but I think that's going to make the strike teams extremely compelling. I think it's going to make them great for taking down some characters, particularly if you are fighting other Jedi, or if you're against Vader, or you're against Luke, or anyone such as your Dooku's who can make Pierce something to really be worried about. And now our last 2 cards, and these 2 I think are the most exciting cards we've had. We're introducing named characters into the squad. There's been lots to talk about this. We're going to see it in Inferno Squad, we're going to see it in Clan Ren. We saw it to a lesser extent in the Pathfinders, but I don't believe that they were as significant additions as these guys are going to be. Also, these guys aren't just limited to this one squad like your Pathfinders are. These guys are able to go in Clone Troopers squads as well as the ARC Troopers. So you'll be seeing these popping up all over the place. So we'll start by looking at 5s. 5s has a courage value of 2, a range 1 to 3 at 3 black attack dice, which is really, really nice. Your courage increased by 1, as we've said. You gain Coordinate Clone Troopers, which is after you issue an order, you may issue an order to a friendly clone trooper at range 1. This guy's your unit leader. Pretty solid attack pool there, and a courage value of 2. Really, really nice. And with him being your leader, he's going to stay on the table until he is dead, and then that squad is dead. And Echo. Now, he is a range 1 to 5, so he isn't like an alternative version of your DC-15 we spoke about before. His difference is he is 2 red attack dice, so a slightly better attack pool, and also has courage value 2. Just like 5s, can go with the ARC Troopers or any clone troopers only. So that'd be your Phase 1 and Phase 2s. Now, he's also got a reliable 1, so at the start of his activation he gains 1 surge token, which is the same keyword we see on the Phase 2 clone troopers. He's got critical 1, which is great. He's got lethal 1, so bear in mind you are putting it on a squad that this will be replacing the DC-15, so you're not really suffering any loss there. He's immune to deflect, which is also the same as what the DC-15 comes with, and he's your leader. And he is for 40 points, which is only 9 points more than what you pay for the DC-15, which increases your courage value by 1, and also adds an extra red instead of a black. So it seems like a bargain, I think, for that. I would imagine if you were going to be running an ARC Trooper squad, Echo's going to have to be in it, unless he is in another squad on the table. So this is the ARC Troopers put together now. I must be honest, this is probably the most fun I've had putting together minis. They were multi-parts, there were times when that was a little bit tricky. Some of them, for example, had gun holsters that had to be glued on separately. Some of them had front and back parts of the helmets. However, I would say these models really felt the most dynamic, and it feels like when I put these on the table next to other people, even though there's going to be a lot of similar poses because of the body sculpts and some of the arms, I do feel like they're going to feel different to what other people are doing, and that was without much particular effort. That was just tweaking things here and there. So let's start looking at the models just so you can have a close-up of what they look like. So the unit leader is a nice dynamic pose. looking out across the battlefield, got a backpack on, lots of detail and everything you're looking at. Very nice bit of kit. We also have a standard unnamed trooper. Now I've read some online posts that people are saying, well, you've got Echo and you've got Fives. This is the other bald guy who was part of their little trifecta. I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought, you know what, I like that. I'm gonna have this guy be a bit fancier. He's not got a jetpack on, so he can be part of their little kind of cohort, and I like that. With everything, you've got the helmet choices, so you could have had the peaked helmet or the flat one, and with most of them there's some kind of weapon choices, so some of them could have been heavy. Echo and Fives, really nice models. Both look fantastic. Once again, because you can mess around with the arm poses to an extent, you can mess around with the head poses, you can kind of feel like you've got some different units. I was really pleased with those. Really like them. And now for the ones you really care about. So you get 3 flight stands and 3 jetpacks. So here we are. Now how dynamic does that pose look? Now bear in mind, this piece of plastic here has a ball joint on the end of it, so it's not like it plugs in and you are set with that. Now I've just put some blue tack on it because I've obviously got to spray paint these, and I'm not going to glue them down there. As much as I want to show you guys what they look like, I'm not going to do that for the benefit of it. But essentially, you come in that angle, you could kind of tweak him so he was more like he was popped up and just had done a pop-up attack. But I really like the idea that I'm going to be able to have him looking like he is flying into battle. He is kind of just launched, just taking off. And I think that's what kind of gives these some of their best feature, how dynamic they look. Okay, we'll have a look at the other two. So I've opted to put this guy on the taller base. You get 2 tall and 2 shorter flight stands. So these are the tall ones, so basically twice the height. Same again, ball and socket joint at the back, so you've got the ability to move them. So this guy, with him having this kind of angled pose, I think it lends itself to a bit more of a bit of a tilt to it. So between that and moving the head, I think you can make it look like this guy's doing something if you really wanted to make it look like that's a real dynamic flight pose, or like that, where he's going to look dead ahead, and it just looks like he is kind of dodging enemy fire, strafing some enemy fire whilst he's returning a couple of shots back himself. And here is our heavy. Now this guy is on the double flight stand just like the last one. He's in the least dynamic of poses, but I like to think of it as he is just kind of popped up above some cover and is laying down some heavy fire. I particularly like the idea of that for the strike team, because that kind of feels like, well, that's what they'll be doing. They'll be popping up using their jump 2 keyword to kind of really bring some destruction and really kind of making them a really good unit. And just as a reminder, these flight stands don't really count, so he can be up there, but when you've got your template, you know, he is going to be the same height as a regular model. And if you can see the template, you can see him, so he is no more visible than this guy, which is great, because essentially I want to be able to have this versatility. I may be running a squad with these guys plus the heavy weapon, and I don't want it to be like, oh well, he's sticking out like a sore thumb, now we're in bother, because the template will essentially mean that he is no taller or bigger as a target than anyone else. Now, almost all of you will know that, but if you're new to the game or you are just getting into it, that is probably something you need to hear, because that way you're not thinking, well, I'm stuck, I can't model them the way I want to, because essentially, if I do, they're going to get shot every time I go over something taller than the rest of my minis. So that's it. That is the ARC Troopers. Really was one of the most fun set of minis I've ever had to put together. Really made me slow down and enjoy the process while I tried to capture what I want to play them as. There was a lot of talk in the video that I did about trying to have them in a dynamic flight pose, and that isn't just me kind of saying stuff that kind of sounds cool, but because that's what I want. When I'm playing the minis, because I'm a nerd, I want them to I want to feel the battle. I want to see something cinematic. I want to see the Clone Wars. I want to see something from, you know, Revenge of the Sith, what have you. And I think they really give you this. Not to mention the strike team and the squad give you essentially 2 units to the price of 1, which is always really nice. And you've got Echo and Fives, which is going to flesh out your squad in just too many ways for me to even understand at the moment. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Do kind of leave a comment, let me know what you're planning to do with them. I really hope you've been able to get hold of a box of these, because they have been particularly difficult to get hold of, especially in the UK. But it is the times we're in right now, and whatever happens, you know, Asmodean, FFG, whatever we say, they will be doing whatever they can to get them because, well, money, right? Okay, thanks very much for watching, guys. Do check out the Blame the Dice Wargaming page on Facebook. I post all my videos there, plus there's lots of kind of commentary and banter about this game and lots of other things. So come and check us out there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.